If you've landed on this video, I'll tell you guys why nobody is talking about the Hisense U7H. So smack a like on this video because I'm getting to the point right now. The point is, it's just an okay TV, but with the last year's U7G existing, it kinda is a moot point. I say that because the picture quality isn't really a game changer in any aspect of the word, and it doesn't look, again, like a day and night difference. Now, I want to show you out of the box versus when you use professional settings to get something more out of your television to paint the picture for you a little bit further. So what you're seeing is after professional settings have been dialed in and this TV is optimized. Let me show you what it looks like before though. To do this, we're going to go into maybe something like Filmmaker Mode, which is lauded as being one of the most reference accurate there is. So I want to get to a position where we can see a face here. So we see the skin tones with the current settings that I have right now. And again, my current settings are in standard mode. And we're going to see what happens when I go to Filmmaker Mode. Pale as a ghost, ugly, dead. This is the industry look. This is literally like everyone's doing this. I don't care if you pay $3,000 for Sony or whatever your price point. It really doesn't matter. This is what you're going to be subjected to. So if you don't like that, then, I mean, it's kind of one of those things you're going to either have to join my settings or my membership to get my settings, or you're going to have to know how to do it yourself. Because if you don't like this look, like I don't like this. Like personally, I look at this and I'm like, why is everybody pale as a ghost? For me, that's not my thing. I like things to be vibrant, to be vivid, look beautiful, that kind of thing. So if that's not the look that you're going for, that's something to note with this TV. It's going to take you some work to get this TV where it needs to be, and that's basically in every single mode. Some people even like to put it in vivid mode out the gate. That's even worse. She's like super pink, and it just doesn't look good. And of course, there's a ton of clipping as well. So this is what it looks like before, and again, I'll show you that in Filmmaker Mode as well. Filmmaker Mode, okay, so this is the before on Filmmaker Mode. Okay, let me show you what it looks like after one more time. And this is what it looks like after. So you can clearly see there's a huge difference in skin tones and in colors once you know how to dial everything in. So now let's talk about something a little bit more annoying. The television has posturization. If you don't know what that is, look up a picture of posturization on YouTube and you can easily see it's a major defect. Nobody wants that. Outside of that issue, the television tends to kind of present a haze when you get to near black imagery, and you have to work pretty hard to get it out. Now on black imagery like this, it doesn't look bad at all. It's pretty deep. Blacks are fairly uniform. I don't notice any major blooming or bright spotting or anything like that, so that's great. The problem though is that it's not as fantastic as something like the Hisense U7H. So for $50, literally, you can get the better TV. Because right now this is priced at $599, and at $599, I could never recommend this TV. You're literally $50 shy of getting the best LED television in this price range and several price ranges above it. Frankly, I haven't seen a single mini LED television that comes close to the U8G or the U8H. So, food for thought there if you're somebody who's serious about buying a television. Now, in terms of audio, the audio is rich. You can hear pretty excellent sound out of the vocals and things like that. Treble is pretty good, and it has a decent amount of bass, but it's not going to be as good as the step-up model, the U8H. So again, for $50, you get some serious gains. In terms of dirty screen effect, it is there. So if you don't know what that is, look up a picture of dirty screen effect or just Google it a little bit more. But essentially, you have some blotchiness that happens on your screen, usually in bright white or near black, like 5% gray or something like that. And again, that 5% gray is just almost black. That kind of thing is pretty dirty. I noticed a lot of that when I was kind of setting up the TV for the first time and I was going through the menus and things like that. Not ideal. The other thing that I think they could probably work on a little bit more is maybe design. This kind of feels a lot like a copy and paste design from last year. And I feel like that's a bit lazy given like every year they want new money, but they're not trying to do more than put pretty much last year's design out on the market. I just don't agree with it. It's a personal gripe, but maybe some people might agree. Like when I'm paying for a new product that says it's 2022, don't do a copy and paste of what it looked like last year. Every company does this to be completely fair, but I just genuinely don't like this. Continuing with things I don't like is when you first start setting up your television, you're met with Google's forced terms of service. So if you don't agree with what Google says you have to adhere to for terms of service, you're going to have to box it up and take it back because there's no way to opt out. I've been the only YouTuber talking about this for years, and nobody seems to think it's a problem but me. Personally, I don't like not having the ability to just plug and play a television. I didn't buy a subscription service, so I don't know why I need the internet to watch my damn TV. That's me personally again, but if you agree, well, now you know about this. Now, in terms of overall clarity and depth, it is there and it presents an excellent picture quality. Way better than what you're going to get on Sony's. A lot of Sony TVs in the similar price points have way worse black levels, a ton more haze, and the colors just aren't as vibrant because they are not using quantum dot color. So that's where Hisense pulls ahead. That and the 1000 nit of peak brightness rating that they give the television allow it to pull ahead a little bit more. They have excellent color management system features like, again, being able to dial in flesh tones and things like that, which is great. But again, I find that the banding and the posturization are really extreme on this set in certain examples like now, how that water just looked really bad. But again, black levels are inky, deep, and uniform. So I feel like once this TV starts hitting sales, and it starts being like $499 or maybe $399 for the 55-inch, I think that'll be way more of an argument that like a lot of companies are going to struggle to meet some sort of answer as to, well, how do we combat this? Now, again, this is not like a 10 out of 10 TV. It's not perfect. It's a good TV, and I think it's a decent upgrade. Motion processing is good, not great. You have artifacts, but not as much as Sony. And again, the reason we're referring to Sony is because I've noticed a lot of people buy Sony, but they're not really delivering a lot in the quality aspect anymore, which is unfortunate, but that is almost one of the most immediate competitors. Now, as far as alternatives to this particular product that I would recommend you maybe try last year's Hisense U7H or their U8H on sale for $649, or the step up U8H this year for $649. Also, you can try the TCL S546. That's an excellent alternative. That's $499 and sometimes under. You have the TCL 6 series from last year as well, the R646. That's a decent alternative. And last but not least, surprisingly, I actually like the look of the Sony X800K, or X80K. So if you're looking for alternatives, those would be what I would recommend. I think this TV does a good job. I think it's a solid TV, but nobody's talking about it because it's forgettable. It's not really a TV that has a place in the market currently because of its price point. Being $50 less than their most flagship model and then offering such a vast difference in picture quality keeps this from being a viable purchase for a lot of people. Yeah, sure, it has gaming features and all that, but again, who doesn't have $50 or couldn't just wait and come up with $50 when talking about making a long-term investment? I don't know. We're not talking about a couple $100 difference. It's literally just $50, and really probably more like $49 when you really look at everything all together. I mean, like, it's not really ideal. And the message is, again, it's a good TV. Colors are vibrant. Brightness is there. Black levels are decent. But I don't know. I expected a little bit more, if I'm being honest. I don't know how I possibly could have expected more, I suppose, from some people, but I feel like the posturization is a bit much. Dirty screen effect is a bit much. These issues should be behind us already. It would be nice to see a smooth gradation feature. That would be lovely. Now, one area that I was actually shocked that they included is the game zone. So this year, Hisense has a new feature called Game Zone, as you see here. And as you go in a game zone, you can adjust things. You can turn down white levels. You can add white levels, which will give you luminosity and things like that. But on this set, it really doesn't do it justice because I find that there's just a general problem overall with haziness to the screen, like I was saying earlier, in most near black examples. Again, when we get to black like this or high contrasted things like black and white on the screen at the same time, like now, it looks totally fine. But it's when you get to the stress testing stuff that it's really going to fall apart. Now, if that's not a big deal for you, given the price, go for it. Especially if the Hisense U8H tends to go up in price and gets back up to like, like being everyday price $700, $800, and maybe you don't want to pay that. This is a decent alternative to that. As far as viewing angles, though, don't expect viewing angles. They're not fantastic. You're going to have to sit dead center on this thing. So I highly doubt that this is an IPS panel. I will have to test to see if it's an IPS panel, but really, I kind of don't see the point when black levels are buttoned up, it looks decent, and most people will be satisfied with it. Again, that's not to say that you won't run into any examples of blooming or anything, but again, it is what it is. It's okay. And I think that's the message for this video. This is just an okay TV that, again, is pretty forgettable. It has decent clarity. It does enough. It's okay. And I think if you're looking for a TV that's just okay, go for it. But in my personal experience and in my professional recommendation, I think you shouldn't cheat yourself the $50, $49, whatever it is, and just take the step up to the Hisense U7H while it's on sale for $649. If it is not currently on sale for $649.99 or whatever it ends up being, wait for that moment, whether it's Black Friday or whatever the case may be, and get the better TV, because this is not enough of a reason to lock yourself into a long-term investment, and that's what I've noticed in the early going. Now, I'll try to compare this against maybe the U8G or something like that. I don't know. Is it even worth doing that? I don't know. I'm not impressed, to be very honest with you. I feel like they could have done a lot better, but again, maybe some people might really be blown away. Maybe feedback on this video. Let me know what you think about this television so far. I mean, again, as you can clearly see, it's not a 0 of a television, but it has some weaknesses. And again, if we're talking about gaming and things like that, this isn't going to take Gaming TV of the Year anyway. And I think all things considered, movie watching and all that other stuff, it does enough. It's good enough for a lot of people. And I think that's kind of the message here. So that being said, let me know what you guys think about this. Smack a like on this video. And as always, thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later.